Hello everybody, happy March 3rd, 2018. Welcome back to Rule of Two Review, and today let's talk about that Nintendo Switch 1-year anniversary. So can you believe it? We've made it to the 1-year mark for the Nintendo Switch. Holy smokes, it doesn't even feel real. I swear to God, it feels like the Nintendo Switch is brand new and just launched a couple of months ago. And I'm sure a lot of you guys share that same sentiment. So obviously, this is probably going to be the 1 millionth video uploaded to YouTube and the internet today discussing, oh my God, the 1-year anniversary of the Nintendo Switch. How crazy. Here's all the good stuff. Here's all the bad stuff. And this is just another video pretty much to add to that list. And hey, I think it's great. I'm not faulting anyone for doing it. That's why I'm doing it myself. And there are a lot of good things and some maybe not so good things to talk about when it comes to the Nintendo Switch in its first year. And I will admit, other than this very first topic I'm going to jump into, I don't even really have much of a plan. I didn't really want to give any kind of outline or take notes of, oh, I want to hit this thing, these are the good things, these are the bad things that I really wanted to discuss for this video. I kind of wanted to just make it free form and, like I said, get past this one first thing and then just sort of spew some random thoughts about what I feel about the Nintendo Switch right now, 1 year later, based on everything we've already seen and played and the couple of things that we know about we can still expect in the near future for 2018, and just kind of have some fun with it. So first, before I get into that whole thing, I want to get into the Nintendo Switch reset scandal, what I'm calling the reset scandal in terms of the playtime that we've all logged in all of the different Nintendo Switch games we've been playing this past year. Apparently, as of this morning when this video goes up, again, Saturday, March 3rd, 2018, apparently all or most of everybody's playtime clocked in any game that they've played on the Nintendo Switch internally will be resetting to 0. And this has been quite the controversy, you could say. A lot of people talking about this, a lot of people very bummed and upset about this. It even made the Twitter Moments headline for a hot minute. It was like, oh, everyone's upset about all their Nintendo Switch games resetting on the 1-year anniversary mark. And it was pretty crazy. I was surprised to see this was happening because it made absolutely no sense to me. Now, full disclosure, and I even tweeted about this earlier as well, I actually, when it comes to this whole idea of, oh, I have this much time logged in a game and it shows me that time, I can look at it at any time, or even other people can see it if I want other people to see it, and oh my God, it's going to reset. Nintendo, what are you doing? Why are you resetting my playtime? For me, I don't care about this. I mean, there's a small part of my brain that's like, oh, it's interesting to see I've played this game for this many hours. Maybe I've played this game for 30 hours, and I've played Zelda for 180 hours, and maybe I've played this game for only a handful of hours. Okay, sure, when I look at those numbers, I get it. It's interesting to see a little bit, but ultimately for me, I don't really care. I've never really put that much stock into how much time I or anyone else has played a game, unless we're talking about a game and in that moment it happens to matter how much someone has experienced the game. In a conversation, I guess it matters, but just in general, as far as seeing it on my system of choice or whatever I'm looking at, I don't really care if those numbers are there or displayed, whether I can see them or other people can see them. It just, I don't know. All I can say is for me, for Rob, it's not important. I don't care. However, boy, oh boy, do I understand that for a lot of people, for most people, it's actually really important. And I've seen that in this last 24 hours when we started to realize this was going to happen. We were going to hit this Y2K situation where, oh my God, everything is going to reset and clock down to 0 and it's going to be a big catastrophe. And I've seen how upset people are about this and how much people don't want those numbers and all of that time to go away so that they can no longer see it and they can't show it off to other people if they want to show it off, because a lot of people, a lot of you guys like that stuff. So while I don't put any value into it, I do understand that a lot of people, a lot of you guys do value it. So it sucks that it's going to be reset. And for that reason, not for me, but for you guys, I think it's dumb. Now, there does happen to be a pretty interesting update to this, and it turns out that the Nintendo Switch actually isn't supposed to be resetting everyone's clocked time today, basically, March 3rd, the 1-year anniversary of the Switch. This is actually a mistake or some problem with the coding of the Nintendo Switch. You can even see Nintendo tweeted this out as confirmation. Some Nintendo Switch owners' play activity information is displaying incorrectly. We are aware of the issue and we expect to have more information to share in the near future. Basically saying and confirming that, hey, this is actually just a glitch and a mistake. The Nintendo Switch isn't supposed to have to reset everyone's playtime every 365 days. This is a problem, and apparently, even something I read on IGN said that Nintendo should be able to fix this with the firmware update. So, again, for all of you guys who care about that, that's the good news. Nintendo should be able to fix this, and this isn't supposed to be the standard practice for the Nintendo Switch. I guess the only question we still have is, if and when Nintendo fixes this, is it going to bring back everyone's clocked time, or is this going to be, once it's wiped out forever, and we're just going to be starting over, but Nintendo will prevent this from happening again next March 3rd, and this hopefully won't be a continual problem. I mean, with any luck, they can retrieve all of our lost data, and no one will have to go without those numbers being missed. But for now, I guess, I don't know. We'll have to just wait and see. I thought it was an interesting thing, so I just wanted to touch on it really quickly. So now, I just wanted to spend a couple of minutes chatting with you guys about the Nintendo Switch and its first year on the market here. You know, this is my mostly Nintendo-focused YouTube channel, of course, Rule2R Review, and so I had to celebrate the one-year anniversary of this brand new Nintendo console, this crazy, weird hybrid machine that has taken the world by storm, and just overall just kind of discuss my thoughts. And like I said, a lot of people have probably done the same thing. Actually, some people have already been posting videos and articles and stuff celebrating the 1 year, which I think is really great. I wanted to get it out on the day of the 1 year anniversary, and I expect many other people will be doing the same. So, you know, I could do a pros and cons thing, and there are pros and cons that I have, but I think just in general, just to share like the broad strokes of my thoughts, I mean, what can I say about the Switch, man? I love it. I think it's so fantastic. It was such an exciting idea to see Nintendo once again trying to do something new. You know, they tried with the DS, they knocked it out of the park. They tried with the Wii, they knocked it out of the park. And when I say try, I mean weird, quirky, innovative, gimmicky ideas. They tried those with the DS and the Wii. They knocked those out of the park. They tried again with the Wii U, and sadly we all know the Wii U did not succeed. It was a failure. Even though I love the damn system to death, it was a huge failure, and Nintendo made so many mistakes. And looking at the Switch, what's really interesting to me is I almost could have envisioned like a different dimension where Nintendo would have made their follow-up to the Wii U and have been so terrified to try something new and different because the Wii U failed that maybe they would have made just another stock console. And I will even freely admit to you guys, if Nintendo did that, I wouldn't even be sad about it, to tell you the truth. However, I'm still glad that they didn't do that, and in the current dimension that we're in now, Nintendo did say, okay, the Wii U failed, we tried really hard, we lost a lot of money, we didn't succeed, but you know what, we're not done trying new things. We still believe in our weird ideas, we still believe in trying to change the market, disrupt the market with our hardware, trying to change the way the gamer interacts with their games and their consoles and their hardware, and so let's take this Wii U concept to the next level. We still believe in it, even though we messed up, and so there's the Switch. That's what we decided to make, was this Nintendo Switch hybrid idea, and I'm really glad that they did. Mostly because I'm glad that they weren't afraid to just continue being the Nintendo that we know and love. The Nintendo that's always trying new things and trying to break boundaries and come up with disruptive ideas. And because the Switch really is amazing. I mean, who knew that we would want AAA, console quality, top tier level Nintendo and third-party gaming experiences in a device that we could easily put on our TV, take on the go. Put on the TV, take it on the go. Back and forth, vice versa. I mean, I really didn't know that I would want and enjoy something that much until I got it. And to me, the biggest testament is the fact that, and you guys have heard me say this before, I don't almost ever take my Nintendo Switch out of my house. I just don't do it. Mostly because I'm terrified to take my $300 device that has all my games and my information and stuff on it out of the house. I mean, I already take my phone everywhere, as we all do, and I can keep that on my person very easily in my pockets. But my Nintendo Switch, for $300 machine, all my games, oh my gosh, I just am terrified of it. So I don't take it out of the house very often. However, I still take huge advantage of the portability. I am constantly taking it off of my dock, which sits right here below me, so I can have it on my TV or hooked up to my computer for capturing footage. I can put it on my dock, I can take it right off, and I'll play in my living room behind me. I'll play in my bedroom over there when I'm falling asleep sometimes. I mean, I literally take it all over my house. I just don't really take it outside. And yet still, I get to take advantage of the fact that they made this weird hybrid device, and that's That's a huge plus for me. Also, of course, I mean, we have to talk about the games. If there's anything to talk about, it's the games, man. And we've all acknowledged it, talked about it. Other YouTubers, other articles, other podcasts, myself, we've all discussed 1,000 times how great that first year, launch year lineup for the Nintendo Switch truly was, man. And I mean, I could beat you over the head with Zelda and Mario in the same year, two of the best games ever made, right, in the launch year. It's crazy. And like, you know what? It is crazy. It is that awesome. But we all know it. So I guess I'm really just reiterating an obvious point. I mean, Nintendo, I think that the reason the last 2 years of the Wii U were so slow for really quality games, we did get a few, but it was still really slow because Nintendo moved all of their main resources over to getting software ready to go for the Nintendo Switch. I mean, if we think back to like 2015, it's crazy to think that, you know what, in 2015, Nintendo had a team working on the Nintendo Switch version of Breath of the Wild and the Nintendo Switch version of Super Mario Odyssey. Like, I'm sure that far back they were working on those games. And ARMS, we had no idea there was another new IP coming. And they were probably already working on that stuff for what was then the NX, and we didn't know crap diddly about it in 2015. We literally only knew NX. And it just really goes to show how well prepared Nintendo knew they needed to be to launch the hardware after the failure that was the Wii U. They knew they had to come out swinging like nobody's business. And so many great games. I mean, I have a pretty solid lineup here. I know a lot of you guys might have like 30 physical games. I've got my 8 or 10, whatever I have here. But they're great games. And I even recently brought up, dude, Xenoblade Chronicles X came out in December 2015. And exactly 2 years later, in December 2017, they had another Xenoblade game ready to go. That is crazy, because those games are so deep and involved and beautiful and huge and so much to do and deep RPG mechanics. And they had, in 2 years, they got 2 of those games out. That blows my mind. I mean, this is the Nintendo that we have almost never seen, and so they deserve all the credit in the world for knocking this library out of the park. Of course, we have the indie situation, which has been very impressive. The eShop has turned out to be really great. I know a lot of people complain about the layout and the navigation, and like, I get that, but as somebody who only occasionally visits it, I don't really care. It's what it is. I'm sure eventually they'll improve it. I mean, yeah, the Wii U eShop was like the best they've ever had, and maybe one day they'll get the Switch to that point too, but for now, it is what it is. I still think it's great. There's a lot of stuff to shop for in the eShop. It is insanely impressive. The Joy-Cons are something else I have to touch on, because you guys know I love the Joy-Cons. I'm wanting more games to take advantage of them, but the few games that do, I really appreciate. I love HD Rumble. I want to experience more HD Rumble. I have a lot of faith that Metroid Prime 4 will be Nintendo's biggest and boldest use of the Joy-Cons and HD Rumble and the IR pointer yet. I really just, it's just a gut feeling in me. There's no rumors. I'm not trying to start rumors or anything. This is just Rob's feeling as a Metroid superfan. I feel like Prime 4 will be that game that Nintendo really just pushes the Joy-Con usage to the forefront, and hopefully they don't require it. Hopefully they're very smart and you still have options, but I feel like they're going to make really solid use of all that stuff, and so I'm happy with the Joy-Cons and that aspect of the Nintendo Switch. And you know, everything has been great. I love the OS. I'm glad that it has a touchscreen, even though it's really hard to take advantage of the touchscreen. So yeah, man, I could just gush about the Nintendo Switch all day long. Are there any cons? I mean, it's tough when I think about negatives to the Nintendo Switch. It's tricky because the few negatives I can acknowledge are actually things I don't even care about. They don't even negatively impact Rob's playtime and experience with the Switch. The one thing that does negatively impact my experience, it's the only thing, and it's something I can still deal with, and it is the battery life. I will say the battery life actually is a problem. I'm always terrified of the battery life running out because I do spend a lot of time not playing on my TV. I love to go sit in my living room and just play on my couch. And the problem is, after like an hour and a half or so, the thing is like halfway drained or sometimes more. I mean, and I'm just like, oh man, I'm getting down to the end here. I can only play so much longer. I should probably just go plug it in or put it on my dock or just play on my TV. And sometimes I don't want to play on my TV, you know? And everyone's different. Some people will only play on their TV, and that's totally fine. But for me, as somebody who likes to split my time, sometimes I very much don't want to be on my TV, and I might have to do that because the battery is running out so quickly. And I can only imagine for a lot of you guys out there that constantly take your Switch everywhere you go, to work, to school, bus rides and train rides, to family members' house, on vacation, it's even more of a pain in the ass, I'm sure. And so that part is a bummer. Also, I do have this weird, like, OCD problem with the heat. My Nintendo Switch gets very warm. I think everyone's Switches gets warm. And ever since the controversy, like, right when it launched about the warping started, I've been terrified of it. So I always have I have a fan facing my I almost said Wii U, facing my Switch whenever it's in the dock. I refuse to play it trapped in that dock, generating all that heat without a fan on it. That's just me. I already think I might have a little bit of warping going on, and I'm so terrified. So I don't love the battery life, and I don't love that I'm so... It's kind of more a personal thing for me. It's not really a problem with the Switch. It's me personally. I'm always just terrified of the heat of the Switch. But if we want to talk bigger cons, the cons that a lot of people have and people are constantly complaining about that don't really affect me, I mean, we know what they are. There's no apps. Where's the Netflix? Where's the YouTube? Where's the internet browser? Virtual console, I mean, I'm in the middle on. Like, I want virtual console, but I'm not crying without it, you know? A lot of people are still complaining about that. The online situation's very weird. The cell phone app for voice chat is definitely dumb. Like, all of these things, these are the other things that are, I will agree, absolutely things that Nintendo probably should address or fix soon. I really hope the cell phone app goes away. I think that Netflix and YouTube and other apps like that, people want them, and they've become expected in video game consoles nowadays. It's weird, but it's true. And so, yeah, maybe Nintendo should look at starting to bring that stuff to us soon. An internet browser, people want to browse the internet on their Switch, I guess, so whatever. And the online situation, yeah, like, give us the more details. We've gotten some, but give us the rest of the details on what's going on there. So those things are problems. Yeah, I will agree. But I will also remind you guys that pretty much every single one of those, I don't care about. I like Netflix and YouTube, but I don't need them on my app or on my Switch. Sure, I use the internet all the time, but I don't need it on my Switch. You know, a virtual console, whatever. I mean, you guys know. So these things are things that I'm not really struggling without. But it's important to acknowledge that other people have problems with these. Other people do want these things. And yeah, Nintendo's been silent on some of this stuff. And I think it's stuff that would probably do them well to address. And do them well to tell people that, yeah, a lot of these things that you guys are wanting, they are going to be coming. That being said, it is what it is, man. I mean, I love my Nintendo Switch. I think this is an amazing product that Nintendo has given us. It's an amazing achievement to go from how low they were with the Wii U days and how poor their sales were and how damaged their brand was. You could say that there was a little bit of damage done to Nintendo's name at the time, and they have reversed all of that. They have pulled one of the most incredible comebacks. I won't say a comeback because Nintendo didn't need to pull a comeback, but I would just say a 180. They've pulled an amazing 180 like almost no company in the gaming industry has ever achieved. And of course, if any company could ever do that, Nintendo would be that company. They've been around the longest. They've been doing it the longest. They've been doing it the best for the longest period of time. Sony has made a comeback of their own, so I don't want to count them out. You know, other companies have made comebacks in 180s, but the way Nintendo did it, to the degree they did it, I think stands head and shoulders above the rest. And it's also just a great damned product. I mean, it's just a great product through and through. It plays amazing games. It achieves great visuals. It's got online play. It's got great controllers. It's got options. It's portable. It's on your TV. It just does so much. And it plays Breath of the Wild. It plays Super Mario Odyssey. It plays Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And eventually, it's going to play Fire Emblem and Metroid Prime 4. And who knows what other else amazing games we're going to get. That's incredible. That is Nintendo at their best. Their marketing has been on point with this console. Nintendo's been making very, very few mistakes. They've made some mistakes. They are not perfect, but they've made the fewest amount of mistakes we've almost ever seen them make, and it's really impressive. And as a diehard Nintendo fan, it sure feels good to see Nintendo doing so well. So I'm enjoying this current resurgence of Nintendo, the strong Nintendo, the Nintendo that people like and enjoy and are excited about and that they believe in. And Nintendo has confidence, and so now the consumer and the gamer has confidence in Nintendo, and it's just a great little symbiote circle of life. And I just love it. So at this point, I'm gushing and rambling on. Those are my thoughts on the Nintendo Switch 1 year later, man. Check it out. It'll be really interesting and fun to see what happens in year 2, in year 3, 4, and beyond. However long Nintendo decides to support the Nintendo Switch. So I, of course, want to hear your guys' thoughts on the Nintendo Switch, the first year of the console. Have you been enjoying it? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Do you maybe not have one? Have you struggled to find one? Are you not interested in buying one? I mean, all these different things. Discuss your first year with Nintendo's new hybrid console, the Switch. And that's going to be it for me today. So thanks, of course, as always, for tuning in, guys. This is Rob of Ro2R, and I'll catch you next time on another video.